This is a painting I started and I had no idea what I was going to do. I just started grabbing some colors and I kind of went with it. And then I just kept adding layers of colors and splashing it on and going along. Like the red was kind of smeary because the paint was, I guess it's getting kind of old, but it didn't matter because I just slap it on colors and smearing it around. And I have, this is fun because I have no idea what this is going to be. I kind of treated it layer by layer, and how I did it kind of different was each layer I did, kind of distinct layer I did, and I put on a specific kind of music to that layer, and then I would, I had to let it dry, and then I would come back and I would put on a whole different type of music. And so kind of the different styles of music were impacting how it was doing a little bit. I kind of had a general idea. So I knew it was going to be something abstract, but I still had no idea, and just kind of kept letting the paint do what it was going to do. When I was doing these cobblestone things, I started out black and then kind of gradually added green, just to kind of break it up a little bit. I was thinking different colors from the background, so that's why I went dark black on the top because of the yellow behind it, and then I went greenish color on the bottom to kind of make it stand out. But then when I did it with the paint, the paint still kind of was, I guess it was because it's glossy when it was wet, but you could really tell the difference of it. But then when it dried, it really kind of murked out, and that's why at the end I had to add more green to the bottom of it to make it stand out a little bit. So when I was doing the taping, I guess it was making some crinkling noises, and a special guest appearance here was my cat, who at the time of the recording really needed attention, and it was poking at me when I was sitting on my chair, poking at me in the side, and so that's why I picked him up and gave him a little attention, and he was the star of the video, kind of in there for a second. I was laughing. It was pretty funny. I don't know why I decided I was going to just try to do some masking with the tape, and I wanted it to just be in specific little areas. Kind of overkill, but kind of airbrushy thinking, and then I ended up not airbrushing anyway, but I still ended up making some nice little places to go and make these. I don't know, they kind of start out as like lightning bolts, and then they evolve into something completely different. I didn't like the look of the lightning bolt when it got to after I took the tape off. It looked too different, too weird, and I kind of wanted it to be a little bit darker, so that's when I went through and darkened it out and added a lot more color, and I decided to go like a heavy red on top, and then once it was red, kind kind of went with an orange glow, the little, I guess you call it node things, and then I went with purple on the bottom to kind of contrast with the green, just to kind of make things kind of stand out. So when I have the toothbrush, it is not a magic wand. What the video doesn't show it because of the stop motion, but what I'm doing is actually flicking the bristles on the toothbrush, and it's got paint on there, and that's what spackles the little paint I was doing. I wanted it very spattery looking, something more than like an airbrush would be able to do. I like to do the toothbrush to do that. So even on the stop motion, I still, it goes along, it scoots along pretty fast. I think I have it set so it takes a frame every half second. So it's, I don't know what the speed is, frames per second. But the masking section ended up being like 10 minutes long of stop motion video, or time-lapse video. And so I scooted along pretty fast. I put up the speed on the video. And I did that with some of the painting bits that seemed to just drag on and on, kind of trying to keep the flow going. Kind of trying to figure out the balance of how fast to go and how slow to go. Some of the maybe the more intricate stuff, I like to keep it at speed or even maybe slow it down a little bit. But some of the stuff that you can kind of tell, I like to speed it along. I even tried completely different brush styles. So like at the beginning, I only went with like big, wide, sweeping brush strokes with a big brush. And then when I was doing these lightning bolt parts, I used a tiny little brush and just did like a stippling. Stippling is the little dots, and so that's how I did most of the color was these little dots, kind of putting the paint in there. One of the bummers about this painting is the way I have it, my GoPro mounted. It was already unzoomed as much as it could be, and where the mount sits, it's kind of just over my head. But it's still, you can barely see the bottom and the top, and so I think you lose about 2 inches the bottom of the painting, and that's where I spent a lot of time actually doing some of the little node things and some at the top too. You kind of miss some stuff, and so a lot of that stuff, just for clarity of the video, I didn't even put it in there. I ended up cutting out a lot of this video, like the mixing colors, cleaning the brushes. With acrylic brushes, you can't let them sit too long with paint because it gets all gross and then it starts smearing and smudging your paint. And so there's a lot of cleaning off the brushes, and then mixing colors and customizing the colors or whatever. All that has been chopped out. When I was doing these, that would start out as lightning bolt and then turn into these node things. It's kind of fun to have the intersections brighter, and then that's why I made it kind of darker in between the things, kind of like these little glowing dots. Don't know what I was thinking. I just kind of went with it, and then I think I did a little bit at the beginning, and then just kind of kept that theme going, just to kind of make it interesting. So this painting ended up being several days worth of painting, after in the evenings and daytime. I had to kind of time it with the lighting being cooperative outside. That's why it kind of sometimes it dims, because it's getting into the evening when I'm doing this, and the light starts going away. But yeah, multiple day projects like this. I always try to decide, do I want to chop it up into little pieces and have it like that, or just do one big long video? And I think for viewership. I like the idea of doing some really long, elaborate videos where you see the whole process, then some, you know, some of the videos, the pictures were broken up into little pieces so you can kind of watch it in stages. I know with short attention spans, some people like the shorter videos, and then there's people who like the longer videos, and that's how I like to watch things. Sometimes I like it as a background and just kind of have it going and check on it when it's going along. Yeah, so let me know in the comments down below if you like the shorter videos. Do you like the longer videos? Do you want me to just kind of keep mixing it up? Let me know. I can easy to go and make them long, put them all in together instead of pieces, or chop them up even more and have them little shorts. for these red swoopy triangle shapes. I don't even know what kind of shape they are. I was kind of thinking I wanted to do some like twisting shape, kind of a 3D look to it. So that's why I went through and added darkness on one edge and lighter on the other, and then going along and cleaning up the edges a little bit. And I still kind of didn't have an exact idea. I had some sketching of the shape I was going to do to kind of liked, but then I didn't like how flat it was, and that's why I put those little crazy symbols, the little triangles, and I don't know what they don't mean anything. They're just fun little symbols. I wanted to break up the flatness. Yeah, so when I'm doing these little symbols, just to make it a little even more 3D looking, that's why I did the symbols in the dark part on the side, kind of keeping repeating the same symbolism through, like rolling around the sides, and then the back of it. That's why I did that red kind of color in the back, just to make it different. So this is another one of those use your error failure parts. My GoPro recorded it at 90 degrees. I don't know why. It just defaulted to that when I haven't messed with any settings. And then so after I was putting all the total video together of this thing, when I rolled it back in to put it back on the side, it lost quite a bit of clarity, which is kind of annoying because this is actually the last little chunk of my recording. And so it's fuzzy, so I ended up kind of zipping along a lot of the speed of this thing just because it's hard to see the details anyway. And that's why I did that final picture at the end to kind of really show it off, because the GoPro really doesn't show all the little details. It does pretty good for what it does, but it's not a super high-end camera. So that's why I went in through and took a nice picture with my phone, and then went into Painter just to get rid of the walls and make it a little more presentable. And there we go. Thanks for watching.